Yes.
Sorry, I forgot to record Jones. Darn.
Oh, I see what you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I want it to be big again. Do that.
Click on the picture.
I want this to go to full size. How do I do that? You may know. How do I get it back to full size?
Anybody know? Double click on the picture.
Seems like there should be more buttons up here.
I know, we should be able to, but what else, yeah, and this is, I know. Yeah, the one is big. I know. This is so amazing.
Hey, I don't know how to make it go big again. Anybody?
Do it.
What are you trying
All
to
right.
do? What are you trying to do?
Trying to make this go to the whole screen again. The whole Zoom meeting.
I mean, that's the third window. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. There. Pull that one down. And then. How do you drag up?
How do you drag things?
Like drag down.
From up here?
Right there, and then press this one.
How do I launch this
Now
thing?
move that. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, so I thought I'd start out with this picture because it was the most difficult one to get. I was on a boat leaving out of Half Moon Bay that went to the Fairlawns, and then beyond that to the shelf there, and the boat's going up and down, and there's people throwing up around me, and just to stand trying to hold a camera is almost impossible, but I was able to get this picture, and there's the black feet. So this is a black-footed albatross. What's that?
Yeah.
On the left. Oh, that?
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Just
Oh, okay. So where's that arrow now?
Or go to the right. I think it was way over to the right.
I don't see it here.
use the buttons on the computer with
Oh yeah, you can use these.
arrows in the computer.
Which it this?
Yeah. No.
Okay, so this boat did chum, and we got the albatross closer to the boat so you can see better detail. And what I like is the tubing noses here that you can see. I read that, and I'm just repeating what I read, that they can smell carrion from a mile away, which is hard to believe, but said it in the book. And also the albatrosses do eat or drink salt water, and then they have some glands in the lacrimal glands that excrete or secrete the salt through the tubing noses. Now, how do I get that back? Big?
Big, you know,
Oh,
big,
this big.
no. So that's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wings.
It's the wingspan is it?
Oh, the wingspan, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty impressive. And I do know that the albatrosses have some kind of a thing in their shoulders so that they can just, they don't have to use muscles to keep their wings up, and they can just glide for.
Remember they can't sit in the park. Apparently, that's because.
Okay, so on the way to the fair lawns, the other bird we saw was or one of the other birds was a tufted puffin. And I was told when they have sardines like that, they're bringing it to the nest. But we didn't, they don't allow the boats close enough to see the nest, so I didn't see the young, but at least we know he's feeding them. And the other common bird that we saw there was a common murray. There's quite a few of those. Now this bird was not, this was off of a boat, but this was on a boat out of Puerto Vallarta. This is a blue-footed booby, although you can't see the blue feet. But on this one, you definitely can see the blue feet. The other booby was a brown booby, and you can see by the background there that he kind of likes that perch because he must be there quite a bit. And magnificently, the other pelagic bird was the magnificent frigate bird there. On the land, we saw quite a few different birds. This is all in Puerto Vallarta. This is a squirrel cuckoo. And this is a groove-billed Annie. They were all around the grounds where we were staying. And then a ringed kingfisher. They're about twice the size of the belted one we see here. And this is a yellow-winged cacique. It looks like he's just about ready to jump at that fly. And one of my favorites is the spoonbill, the roseate spoonbill. And this is a better view to just to show that unique bill that they have. And this is a green heron. And this is a great kiskadee, a type of a flycatcher. This is the sandblast jay. It's named after the well, there's some wetlands about 2 hours north of Puerto Vallarta. We didn't get there because it was a 2-day trip, but JT's been there and it's supposed to be pretty spectacular. So maybe the next time we'll get there. And this is a black-throated magpie jay. This is a blue mockingbird. And this is a striped back oriole. and a rufous crowned mott. What? What's that? Mott, yeah. You notice a long tail there. And a little closer shot of that. It's a yellow grosbeak. And this is a rufous back robin. They come in about 5 o'clock in the evening. All just tons of them on the grounds where we were staying. And a golden cheek woodpecker. Now this was taken over on the coast at near Alturas. It's a breeding plumage black-bellied plover. What's that? Alturas is northeast of California. I don't mean Alturas, I mean Eureka. You're right. Sorry about that. And I like the way they lined up here. A Dunlin and a Dowager. The plover didn't turn his head quite perfectly.
Yeah.
And this is a breeding plumage loon with a crab. And eventually he was able to, I did see it swallow it. This is at the Sacramento Wildlife, an American bittern. And then there was a big flock of tricolor blackbirds on Cottonwood Road. He had quite a meal there, and this was what was waiting for that meal. And this is an eared grebe. This was up by up in Plumas County. Sierra Valley? No, Sierra Valley, yeah. And this was by Lake Manzanita in the park, in Lassen Park, a brown creeper. And these were some owlets that were waiting for some food. We were waiting for the adult to come and feed it, but we waited quite a while and it never showed up. South of town by John, where was it? Durham. Yeah, by Durham. John was waiting with me. And this is a series of Clark's grebes at Sacramento Wildlife. Here he's doing a bit of a mating ritual, and there he is. They are mating, and they're tending the eggs.
How long were they in the meeting?
I don't remember. I don't know. I'm not even sure I realized they were mating until I got till I developed the pictures. And then here's the young. And this is an Allen's hummingbird that I took last week in LA. And I thought I'd finish up with this Anna's because it's in my backyard and it's pretty tame now because it knows I feed it all the time. And the female on the hibiscus there. And that's it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, let me see if I can eject that.
okay.
Okay, you're good to go. Let's get the next one in. So this is John or Jim. Okay. You have a flash drive?
I do.
Okay.
Not find it in my pocket.
Oh, George, I need your mic.
Oh,
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, everything can go. In the picture George took of those tropical birds, yeah, I'll just, yeah, there's, you know, this is much better. Oh, love it, house. You can see the birds out in the trees. So we have a lot of tropical birds that to the same with the Orioles.
And this one?
Take that one. There it is.
So,
Good size.
We have to stop the share and then we have to start the share again. This one.
our next photographer, Jim Henson,
And I'm pretty new here. This is, I think, our third meeting, my wife Jennifer and I. It's pretty fun being here. Those are some great photos.
Okay, looks like you can use that or probably use the arrow over here.
Okay. This is at Sacramento Refuge. And I like the light in this one. These guys were headed straight for me with me. This is PM. I'm a PM photographer.
yes.
Oh, you.
No, really.
So that's the coast range in the back there. There's a peekaboo acorn. That is Llano Seco. In the fog. It was about 32 degrees and foggy. That guy was just hunkered down. Kestrel. This is also at Sacramento Refuge with this young bald eagle mobbing its parent for some food, and that parent just flying all over trying to get away from this guy. Is that does anybody know, is that like a second year bird or? So what year would that be?
I think so.
Second? Okay. This is of course a band-tailed pigeon, and this is off of our deck when we lived in Paradise. We had a really great view there of the bird feeders looking down kind of and across at the bird feeders.
Oh, Jim.
Band-tailed pigeon. Yeah, we had a lot of them there. And that is a black-necked stilt, also at Sacramento Refuge. Looks like he's spitting.
Yeah.
That's a Llano Seco. That picture was used for advertising one year at the Snow Goose Festival for the art show. Somebody, maybe somebody remembered, I don't know. This is a cedar waxwing, and there was a whole mess of them in eastern Shasta County, just flying through and eating so many midges that it was just really fun to watch. And yeah, there's a beak full. That's at the platform at Sacramento Refuge. Downy woodpecker. And that guy's got a mouthful of vole. Have the whole series. I figured that one was enough. Yeah, it downed it. Yeah, Well, it kind of go. Sacramento Refuge again. I believe that's a Ferruginous hawk. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cottonwood Road. Sacramento Refuge. Blue Heron. It's a horned owl in a barn in eastern Shasta County. There was, I think, 2 of them in that barn. That one was the most photogenic. And that's a hairy woodpecker, also eastern Shasta County, and he's got a really good sized grub that he's pulled out of that willow tree. And I don't think I've ever seen a beak longer on a hairy woodpecker than that one. Sacramento Refuge again, and that there was 2 young jackrabbits just playing and running and jumping and chasing each other, having a grand time. So I had a lot of opportunities to get them in the air. Who knows that one? Yeah. Anybody see him around here? Yeah. Oh, where? At Sacramento Refuge? Oh, oh, Seco. Oh, okay.
So what they did was they killed all the plants. It's a long story, and so they haven't been for 2 years.
Oh.
And I see never toured, but now I.
Oh, okay.
Well,
It's a Lawrence's goldfinch. I've seen them twice in my entire life, and this is in the mountains of eastern Shasta County. I did not ever expect to see them up there, up in the Yellow Pines. Kind of a front view of a what do you call it? Thank you, Harrier. They look so much like an owl when you see them from the front. That's a bass.
yeah.
Just getting them out of the water. I thought he posed really nicely.
Yes.
Nice pintail pair. Pygmy nuthatch. Over near Old Station, pretty close to Lassen Park. And I don't see those very often, so I had to get some pictures. California quail, and he was just calling away. I was 15 feet or so. He just didn't even care that I was there. He had other things on his mind. That's a well-known snag at Sacramento Refuge.
Yeah, was that a raven?
A raven, yes. By the way, that's the same snag that the bald eagles were on the backside, because you probably know that snag. What is that? Red-breasted sapsucker. A red-shouldered hawk. Thank you. And that's in my backyard, about a mile from here. Red-shouldered hawk. I just happened to have my camera out there that day, and this guy just flew by really low, and wow, I couldn't believe it.
Yours.
And he was calling the
Oh,
whole
is that
time.
so cool?
Yeah.
That wasn't me. Red tail over on Cottonwood Road. Ruddy duck, eastern Shasta County. And there's a Sacramento Refuge at dusk. Yep. I like the light in that one, just right at dusk again, nice pink sky.
We have that on a canvas. Turned out beautifully. How big is that?
It's like 4 feet by 3 feet.
Yeah. It's just wonderful. And the same in the Sacramento Remedy. Fireplace that is also large. And they come out really nice. We have so much detail.
Call this one the stretch. I don't remember why. Marsh wren.
Where was it?
I think it was Sacramento Refuge. And that's over at that place off of Highway 99 south of town where the farmers put out the rice waste. Boy, I've got a lot of pictures there. And that's the coast.
Harder Road, but
What do you call it?
we call it Harder Road. It's a hot spot,
Oh,
but the Lundbergs own it, and they said they call it Cherokee Range.
oh, really? I didn't know that was Lumberg land.
And what are?
White-fronted geese, kind of landing in formation. I usually include this one to scare young children.
What is it?
It's a what do you call it? Turkey vulture. Swans at the same place at Harder Road. Varied thrush in paradise. That's like 6-7 years ago, I think. We had a whole mess of them. They were just that one year. We had like 6 or 7 of them hanging out there, which seemed like a lot to me. But yeah, it was great to have them there. The sun was only hitting the pelican, white pelican. And so you could sort of see a little bit of light behind it. So I darkened it out just to really focus on the pelican. The light was really not hitting behind him much.
Or what was that, John?
This is again, Eastern Shasta County. And that's it.
Yeah, you can hear Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure.
Oh yeah, thanks.
I'm used to not just pulling those out.
You know, my very first flash drive, I pulled it out for 5 or no, probably like 10 years before I knew you weren't supposed to just pull.
You ever lose data?
Nope.
Oh, maybe it doesn't make that much difference. Thank you.
Okay, who's up next? Or John C. John, yours is this yellow.
Those are the yellow one.
Okay, let's see, now we need to,
I'm sure.
all right, let's see, I have to figure out how to get this in here. Where are you?
It takes a few minutes to switch over. So, well, now we know. Yeah.
And make this go big size. Not that. See,
It's just, you don't recognize it.
No, the wings.
It's you.
Yeah.
this looks like a giant thing.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, now we have to get back to Zoom. Share screen. I don't know how to make it go full size.
Yeah. It's good. Well, I heard you say acrobatic reader up there, so.
Hmm?
I was good acrobatic reader and go under a view, but I knew how to see it.
You wouldn't think it would look at.
I can't see it. View.
Full screen, but we actually go down. Maybe there.
There.
Maybe,
no, that's
maybe.
good.
That's all it does.
And yeah.
Whoops. Okay, you can use those.
Just going to the right.
There.
Okay. Yeah, just a flicker, you know, I have a lot of just ordinary, but ordinary can be extraordinary too. So here's just a regular flicker. And then I think I just put, I don't have any exotic, just one place that went that's different, but mostly they're Llano and Big Chico Creek. And I do hang out with Joan a lot. My wife likes to sleep in, but we are texting at 4:30 in the morning on where to go, you know, so kayaking a lot. This is a typical, I can't even remember, Bill, I don't know. Local. There's on a fence house, yes. And, you know, anyway, I love the cranes when you're at Llano. There's a couple of good cranes.
Where was it?
This is Llano.
Yeah.
It's the only place I really know where the cranes are. But it's such a great place to be here, you know,
Yeah.
20 minutes away from my house. It's amazing. And down there at Llano, there was this little guy for years and the shrike on this certain tree. He walked back all the time and he hasn't come back this year.
I see them there all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done one about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, actually like 2 years ago, I think I took this one.
It's just the other day, someone northern strike.
Oh.
Got corrected, and so I think it was.
Okay. Well, we got a lot of pictures of the shrike one year. It's fun. This was a little one down by Sacramento, in a field that happened, I think, in February and March, the short-eared owl. There's another place off Wilbur Road, that short-eared owls. But pretty cool. Llano, Eurasian widgeon. Saw one the other day out there. And like your shots, Jim, sometimes you can't, even though you have hundreds of the same picture, when they're only 10 feet away, it's like, wow, it's pretty amazing. Just the detail, just piece of art. Yeah. And the story here was, we found this eagle's nest up on Highway 36 and we're there for a couple of years, and not last year, maybe the year before I went there. And the next week that I went, and we were tracking this all along for a long time. Anyway, the next week the nest was gone, blown down. And the parents were just flying around and they made their nest farther off, so we'd never get those shots right off Highway 36. And another one that went down that Joan and I and a lot of people went down and saw down by the river, behind the ranger station, that little trail that goes out. There was a huge eagle's nest there for a long time, and that blew down last year too. The ranger station on the River Road. The River Road, there's a trail that goes behind there that goes out to the river. And then when you walk out there, there used to be a huge eagle's nest. But yeah. Anyway, this is one of the eagles that was there at the nest. So we'd sit there 3, 4, 5 hours and wait for them to come back and forth. It was really, I'm not sure about the fish. Anyway, and when they finally did, the 2 little eagles that fledged, they were down by the river, like Joan was saying. We had our kayaks and went down there, and I had my granddaughter with me. And so we were, 50 feet away from this little eaglet here. Pretty cool. And then this year we found these that were just below Hamilton City. And you can only get there on the kayaks, but you could see them just for a brief amount of time. So we pulled over and got out, and they were getting their nest ready. So hopefully we can get down there in the spring and in the summer And
This is on the same.
this is on the Sacramento Road, right below Hamilton City. Like the first,
Which side of the river?
the right. You know where that house is?
West side?
Yes. Across from that first big house. This is over where Joan was saying we went over with our kayaks to Orville and got the grebes over here. They were really fun to watch. Just so cute. This is my own backyard. I have a little, as you can see, just a rock with a little bubbly pond out, but I sit out there for long periods of time to get great shots. Oh, okay. I didn't even see the hand. Unaware. And this summer, the warblers were coming through. They come through like in August and early September. But that little fountain attracts so much. It's just amazing.
And that's your.
That's my yard, just back there in suburban. Yeah, yellow warbler. Yellow warbler. But right at the end, right at the end of August, keep your eye out for the warblers. And this is pretty cool. This was up at Concal. Somebody had the alert out for, lazuli bunting and Concal, so went up there and found it. Really pretty. And then Joan and I and two other photographers had the chance to spend 2 months with these little pygmy owls in the park. And this was my only good shot after all that time. Yeah, it's a vole or a mole. Yeah. And it would bring it back, and then it was luring the little pygmy owls out. Wouldn't stay there and feed them. Eventually they came out. And then Joan and I, my wife and her partner, we all went to Alaska, and I always wanted to see a puffin. So here's my tufted puffin from the ship. It's pretty cool. And then we even got some horned puffins. Kind of cool. They were the same size. They're not very big. And then this is an eagle up in Alaska, and we have eagles here, which we're really lucky. There's quite a few, especially down in Yano. I see them all the time, especially later in the winter time. You can see 6 or 7 out there at one time. But anyway, we went 500 miles in a small boat around in Alaska, and we saw a couple of eagles, few here and there. But the best part was in Juneau at the motel. Yes, there was 6 or 7 eagles right in front of the hotel. Yeah, around in Alaska. Yeah, a little cruise in Alaska.
Was it?
We never stopped at a town. It was just a naturalist cruise, so it was really amazing that we never stopped anywhere except for when we saw something. And this was the washout. And I saw it catch the fish, and then luckily it just kind of came around and went by me. But I thought it was pretty cool. Positioned it, got it all set. I liked it.
Where that's.
Just at the washout, down here, River Road. And these are, I think this was at the Sacramento Wildlife Refuge. I don't know if they're young ones or what, but they were interesting to me. Morning light. And then this was the same place I found this the only kingfisher hole I've ever found. And I read about it. They go 6 or 7 feet back into the bank, and it was surrounded by bank swallows. And I saw it about 3 years ago. And then this year, Joan and I paddled back, and we came to it and just sat there for a few hours. And sure enough, there's the kingfisher coming in and out. It's pretty cool. And one time on the river coming down, you don't know who you're going to run into, but this little Wilson's warbler who was just out feeding on something. Pretty little bird. I love the stilts. They're kind of everywhere, but this is a Llano Seco. I like it. Yeah, the morning. I'm a morning person. And here's another morning shot near the outer platform out there. It used to be a platform, but now it's a concrete picnic bench. But we call it the outer platform. Let's see, a morning shot. This was a few weeks ago out there with some nice reflections of the cranes. They seem to move on now. They used to be about a month ago, they were all out there spending the night, and now they've kind of moved on. I don't know where they've been. There's Yano Seiko, you know, and they have a rhythm. They're out there in the morning and they cross the road, and then about 9:30, they're coming back again, you know. It's really interesting. Here's a little peregrine, young one, that we were standing right under the platform, Yano, at 10 o'clock, and just about to give up. And I just looked over to the right and go, oh my gosh, here comes this peregrine falcon. Cruising down. Pretty fun. Huge eyes. And I didn't know what happened. You know, the eagles come by and all the ducks go up. And somebody would know this, maybe JT or somebody that's more knows what. But when this falcon came by, nobody moved.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get up in the air, I guess.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. So here's a ferruginous hawk up on Lassen Road. Lassen Road's a favorite road. Last year there wasn't enough rain to make the grass grow, and so anyway, they weren't there that much. But this year, with all the rain that we did get late in the spring there, they should be coming back, along with some rough-legged hawks too. But they're just gorgeous up there. And it's also up on Lassen Road, you can spot the little burrowing owls. They're about this big. And they're hanging out in these little culverts.
Yeah.
You just go real slow and you just look at every culvert and you might find one. And this one's a very unusual one. It has a very small spot on its left eye. You can see it, I hope. Tiny little dot. Anyway, we've seen that bird 5 years in a row in the same culvert. Yeah.
Yeah,
kinda cool.
right there.
Yeah. The same bird 5 years in a row. So he's come back this year. He's there in one of the culverts. And out there on the same road, Merlin, they're around there too. It's a great place. Not much traffic at all. You can drive there peacefully. Here's a female harrier, Yano, I think. And then, oh yeah, and this was I know it's a bird place, but I love coyotes. And this was from the outer platform at Yano, looking all the way across at that ranch. And it just was lit up because the morning light lit these coyotes up. And so somehow the picture came out handheld, and I like coyotes.
Yeah.
But it was so far away. But it was great watching them. They look healthy. And there's a Yano shot. Anyway, thank you. Oops.
Okay, but I think, yeah, you're.
Yeah, right, okay, good, here, take this thing.
Mm, Injections.
So I close this and move it down. Close that down.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to do it from here.
Yeah, oh boy, let's see what happens. Okay.
So now you wanna go to your Zoom, but you're,
Now you get rid of that thing.
yeah, well, you're gonna need to go to that and then do share screen, or did you already do share screen? Make that bigger.
I don't like this thing.
Oh, there. I keep seeing it.
Hmm. I don't, do you see the cursor at all? I don't think it's here to tell you the truth.
Can you go to escape? If you notice the big ones. Now if you go to Zoom.
Yeah, there must be some way to get rid of this thing.
Oh, make that bigger. Yeah. Don't get rid of it because
No.
they share your screen.
Now,
So now can you, if you can open that other one,
I had it, it's behind this.
oh, if, but I don't think it was big. Anyway, try sharing.
It
your
was gonna
screen.
be big, I know how to
Okay, share your,
do what, yes.
share screen, that green one go up. Right there,
And this is wrong,
put it out.
okay.
I don't know if it's gonna be big, so.
See, I can make it big,
Oh, okay,
but I can't get, well, I guess,
that'll go away.
okay, all I gotta do is do this. Okay,
There we go.
you're up there, okay, last time I did this a few years ago, I did, thing on, never mind.
I think they can hear him.
Right, the last time I did this, I did it on some hummingbirds and echoes. So I thought I'd jump up in size, and I've got few eagles that I've taken over, not recently, last few years, so. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the name of the bird up, so I don't forget, and then go through some photos. This was taken probably 2005 in South Africa. This is a long, now you can see, long crested eagle. Okay, so we go next. Golden eagle. These are local somewhat. This was up in the canyon up 32, maybe a couple, 3 miles. This was in the evening and it was perched down below, and for some nice reason it flew right by eye level. Just a golden eagle. This is a golden eagle that I took this up about 2 or 3 miles north of Cedarville in Modoc County. It's a juvenile bird. This was taken in Lassen County in the winter. Same here. Golden eagle. Now I got a lot of bald eagles photos in. In 2000, I think 8 or 7, I spent 5 or 6 days up in Homer, Alaska. And in Homer, Alaska, there's a spit that comes out of land. It goes out into Kachematch Bay, and we were right on the tip of this spit. And the lady at that time, and this can no longer go on, she was able to feed the eagles. And there were so many eagles there that many times you'd have to duck so they wouldn't hit you when they flew by. So I'm just going to kind of go now. If there's some question of one or two, just stop me. I'll try to explain. But they're just straight photos of all the things. Well, the entire time I was there was snow. Yep. I was there in let's see, late February. How cold was it? Oh, it's about 32, so it wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Fish, this lady, it's a long story, then I'll make the end part. She worked in a packing company that packed fish, and she started off getting a couple of buckets a day 20 years before that. And then she was putting out like 100 pounds or more a day. It was unbelievable. but you know that no one can happen here. You know, process for what's that? Yeah, it's that's under didn't process at all. There's a juvenile. Now, there sometimes you'd see them walking around like that because there were pieces of fish and things laying. So they'd walk around, scare one another off. Sometimes it was like from here to maybe twice from here to the door, it'd be like 50 eating up there. It's just amazing. Yeah, but they didn't fool with the eagles. Okay, now this is a different, this bird, I'm gonna have to tell you right now that this bird was a rehab bird. I was down in Belize. They have a zoo there. So I went in there and they had a huge igloo. I mean, it was like 100 feet high and twice that far back, and you couldn't get into it. But I could see this bird up in there. And as I stood there, the curator, the lady said, "Would you like to come in?" And I said, "Why not?" So I went in there, and that's it. That's a big bird. And I said to her, "Oh," and then this happened. See the feathers and everything? It flared up like that when it saw me. And I said to her, I said, what's wrong?" She said, "He doesn't like the long lenses." Yeah.
Are they the largest?
Well, they're one of the I believe the largest eagle is pretty close to this is the Philippine eagle. But they're not much different. But the thing is, this bird was brought in because I forget the reason by the Peregrine Foundation. It's up here in North America. And I said to the lady, I said, well, she said, "Well, let's hear it because we're protecting it because people shoot up there." And I said, "Why will they shoot?" And he said, "They're afraid of it." And he said, "It's no different than somebody shooting a golden eagle up in the States." So, but it's an impressive bird.
Yeah, pretty.
Now, here's here's another big eagle. About, let's see, 2018 now, was that 5 years ago? I spent about 2 weeks or three, I don't even remember, in Japan. These photos were taken on Hokkaido, which is the furthest north island, very close to Russia and China. So, oh, and then I'll give you another backdrop. On one morning out of the little fishing town, we took a little boat ride out. And this is where I got most of these photos. That's a Stellar Sea Eagle. You haven't seen that big yet, wait a minute. Now, before we went out and go, this was the day before, evening before, this is a juvenile Stellar Sea Eagle. How big are they? Stand about that tall. Yeah, I mean, they're huge. Wait just a second, you'll see. How's that for a bill? They're very large. Well, At one time, they pulled the vessel in, and there were birds that were maybe twice as from here to the door, up above. And then summer, you'll see some flying. So, see, they would throw fish out, and the birds would go out after them. These birds nest right off of Hokkaido and up in Russia. And they're called the Sea of Okhotsk. That's where they nest, and then they kind of spend a winter in some parts of China and northern Japan and Hokkaido and northern Honshu, which is the big island. But most of them in Hokkaido. You see. I have a million more, but I just had to cut it short for this. All right. The other bird that was there is a white-tailed eagle. I've heard some people call it white-tailed sea eagle, but it's a good-sized bird also. You see, but it's not quite, look at the bill, it's not like quite as big as a Stellar's. But there it is. See, going down for fish again. Okay, now this is the last one. 25 years ago, before there was any digital cameras or anything, I had some film cameras, and I had very few of the slide that I took managed its way through all my computers and this, that, and the other thing. But I was able to get this battler eagle. This was in Botswana. And this bird, when it flies, it's doing all kinds of circus tricks, all just normal. It isn't, that's just the way it is. And the word battler in French means acrobat. Here's another one. Yeah, that I was really happy to be able to save these because, okay, that's.
Did you want that from?
Yeah, I did. I used to have a scanner. I did all that. I had it in a far back computer, and then the computer went. I couldn't get it fired up again. I got another battery, so I lost most of the stuff. That's when I went over with Volker and Memorial. That's it. Okay. Take that name.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, JT. I think I have some photos that I can show from Lisa's today. Let's see. Whoops, I think I should have had you stop sharing first.
Peace, Lisa.
Lisa Winslow took some pictures of a Roadrunner today while we were by the airport, and I wanted to show them, but I need to figure out how to stop participant sharing. There we go. Oops. Okay, so Lisa Winslow took these this morning. Whoops. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, I don't know. Looks like I'm trying to share this one. Where? And I don't know where it is. Let's try this again. Oh, I want to see this one. But in order for the people online to see it, I have to share my screen. Okay. No, I think we can do this. Oh, sun arrow. There we go. So this guy's out at Pro Aggregates.
Oh, yeah.
Pro Aggregate, which is off Hicks Lane. And so the employees there, none of them are birders, but they've named this bird Flash. And he'll run right by them. But today, I went out with Lisa and I saw it too, but my camera's in the shop, so only Lisa got photos. But he was just running. I mean, he was not very far. He would just be like right against like that wall from where Lisa was, running up and down these rocks. And sometimes he'd get on these rocks and he would be super camouflaged.
That's in the airport.
Yeah. Well, Hicks Lane, off of
Yes.
Eaton.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great one. He or she was so cute. Oh, look at that. And he did this, which they do to warm up. They put all their feathers up and they face the sun. Warms them up.
It's a bag.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it has a little bit. Around their eye is really blue. Yeah, he did that quite a bit. He was doing that right when I pulled up.
So it's only that one, there's not another one hanging around, just that one.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe there's a pair, but as far as they've only seen one at a time, so I don't know. But the people there were the people there were very nice. I didn't get to talk to them, but Liam talked to them the other day, and Lisa talked to him today, and they're kind of excited to show it off. And they think, they knew nothing about birders, but now they do.
Good.
All right, so I think that was it.
Place again.
Pro Aggregates.
I went out the day before and the place was not open, so we had to go and walk along the lake. And someone had seen it earlier to follow us into the number. And all over the big dry field of grass. And so a couple of guys were stolen over this machine was stolen. And all of a sudden, across that field, I see this. I had that thing going across there. And I said, there wasn't, so we couldn't see it again. When they put the scope on it, and he was sitting on a barbed wire, only near that building. It wasn't open, so we didn't go in.
Right, yeah.
But
Yesterday we tried to look at him
Yeah.
through by on the lead, into his kind of
Yeah.
on the levee, but he's looking.
But your fire face is from it.
Yeah, but we didn't see it yesterday.
I
We
think
got it this morning.
So,
She called me right away and I ran down there. Yeah, so we have some comments. Fabulous photos, George. Wonderful, John. Joan loved the Eagles, JT, and the Roadrunner. So, all right. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I think we're very fortunate to have all these photographers share their photos with us tonight. So we hope you enjoyed it. We hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. And
I just wanted to ask you, if I were to go over to Pro Aggregate and go into the desk and ask them where's the Roadrunner?
was like,
Oh, yeah. So where he has been hanging out is like they kind of have a long driveway, but
Yeah.
when you get
We were there just.
we
the
just
other day.
got.
oh yeah, right when you get
Right.
to where it looks like you're going into the place where there's trees.
Yeah.
So this morning he was by the 3 redwood trees where there's 2 red leaf trees right next to him, right at the very beginning, and he was just on that little rock area right next to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see the redwood leaves in the back, and he was just on those rocks. But I guess he'll go all the way to the back. And there's what is back there, right? Lisa said she went all the way back there when she first saw him. And then he came around this dirt pile and then came into the middle of their compound and then came over to these rocks right by the beginning.
They collect concrete there. old concrete pieces, there's just piles of it.
Yeah, off in the back, yeah. And
Yes,
I haven't heard anybody see him back there, but that's kind of where I thought he might
Yeah, that.
be, but yeah. And then he'll go in the fields like JT said. And right up in the front area.
They mostly lizards and yeah.
They usually mostly eat lizard, but I think he was eating a lot of insects or something, because
I've heard feeding, I have no idea.
they said they put out mealy worms or something for him, but they didn't know if he was actually ever eating them.
So yes, we have road runners in Duke County, so Duke College can feel good about that. Yes. The programmers. Well, anyway, again, thank you for a wonderful meeting. Oh, yeah, and I'll go ahead. Thank you for joining Zoom too. It looks like we're continue these hybrid programs. So we'll see you next month for winter survival and how birds survive in the winter. So thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next month.
Right.
Thank you.
Then people sign off, and then we'll raffle. Yeah.
Okay, bye everybody in Zoom land.
Thanks for all the help.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye. Thanks a lot for doing it on Zoom. Sure appreciate it.
Sure. Someday we'll get this down, maybe the next couple of years.